Apple manufactures the glass and silicon that dictates the daily habits of over 1 billion active users. They own the hardware in your pocket, the operating system you navigate, and the processing power that runs it all. Yet for years, a specific blind spot existed in this perfectly controlled environment. If you were holding an iPhone and wanted to find a local coffee shop or an emergency plumber, Apple had to outsource that discovery process to third parties. This outsourcing created immediate friction. Finding basic information, like operating hours or a menu, required jumping out of Apple's native interface to pull fragmented data from aggregators like Yelp, platforms like TripAdvisor, or independent browser searches. When users hit that friction, they defaulted to the path of least resistance, opening a search engine. Every time an iPhone user searched for a local business on Google, Apple suffered a massive, recurring data leak. They were losing localized commerce traffic to a competitor right on their own devices. Google had spent years building unified, highly detailed local business profiles. They knew exactly when a store opened, what the storefront looked like, and how busy it was. Apple, meanwhile, relied on a patchwork of passive external data feeds that often conflicted with one another. To plug this leak, Apple built Apple Business. It functions as a direct bridge between local merchants and the iOS operating system, bypassing the need for an external search engine. Apple Business serves as a foundational rewiring of how iOS devices interface with the physical commercial world. The goal is to keep users captured inside the iOS environment, from the moment they search for a product to the second they pay for it. For a local business owner, this rewiring starts on the back end. Rather than updating Google, Yelp, and a personal website separately, merchants now have a singular digital entry point directly into the Apple ecosystem. A local coffee shop owner can manually log into a portal and upload their exact source of truth. They provide their own high-resolution logos, current menus, exact holiday hours, and active promotions. This diagram illustrates how information enters the ecosystem. While small shops use the manual portal on the left, large enterprise businesses utilize an automated API data stream on the right. An API, or Application Programming Interface, is a software intermediary that allows a company's database to talk directly to Apple's servers, instantly syncing thousands of store locations at once. Whether uploaded manually or synced via API, these pathways converge to create a definitive Apple-hosted database. Because this data comes directly from the business owners, Apple treats it as absolute, overriding any conflicting information gathered from third-party apps. Consolidating this proprietary data into one central server is an absolute prerequisite. It gives Apple the necessary fuel to deploy accurate local information across every device they make, without having to rely on search engine crawling. Crawling is the process where companies send out automated bots to read and index information scattered across millions of external websites. Once that merchant data hits Apple's backend servers, it cascades directly onto the front-end interface of your iPhone. This network visualization shows the first operational output. Apple Maps functions as a commerce hub, generating rich place cards featuring the business's custom photos, current promotions, and direct action buttons to order or reserve a table. The data also routes into Apple Messages. This verified business chat feature allows you to natively text a storefront to ask about inventory or modify a reservation, completely sidestepping third-party communication apps. The system also uses proximity-based triggers. When you physically walk near a store, that same centralized data prompts Siri to surface location-aware loyalty cards right on your lock screen. The final transactional step happens right in those same native touchpoints. You complete the purchase instantly via Apple Wallet or Tap to Pay, without ever pulling out a physical card or opening a browser. By routing a single, highly accurate source of truth through Maps, Messages, and Wallet, Apple turns the entire operating system into a frictionless digital storefront. Zooming out to the macroeconomic landscape, this operational cascade directly challenges Google's core business model. This comparative diagram breaks down the shift in how people find businesses. On the left, we see traditional search engine discovery. A user leaves their operating system, opens a web browser, and searches. But the closed loop on the right represents ecosystem discovery. The user finds the store, messages the owner, and pays the bill entirely within the boundaries of the operating system. For Google, the threat is explicit. When an iOS user orders coffee through Apple Maps or texts a mechanic via Apple Messages, Google loses a highly valuable local search query. That translates directly to a loss in localized ad revenue. For local merchants, this closed-loop system gradually deprioritizes the traditional business website. When your menu, hours, and payment options are already baked into the hardware interface the customer is holding, the need to visit an external website drops to near zero. To survive the modern digital economy, businesses can no longer rely entirely on optimizing their websites for search engines. They must integrate their operations directly into the hardware ecosystems their customers already occupy.